a lot of misinformation out there about sleep. And so today, Dr. Flores and I are going to try to break this down. I actually am going to participate a little bit in myth versus facts. I usually don't, but that's all right. So I'm going to kind of give you the harder ones. I'm just joking. And give me the loud balls. I want to do the underhand pitches. Why not? Myth versus facts. So here it is. Myth versus facts, the best sleep ever. So I'm going to say a statement, and then I'll ask Dr. Flores to say myth or fact, and maybe a few sentences why. We'll kind of do like this, a little rapid fire, myth or fact and why, and I'll also participate. So here we go. Dr. Flores, you get the first one. Myth versus fact. Here we go. Most adults need between 7 and 9 hours of sleep each night for optimum performance, health, and safety.
Fact.
Please explain.
So when you look at the average amount of sleep that most people require, it actually falls within a kind of like a bell-shaped curve, if you can imagine it. The middle part of the curve, the real fat part of the curve, that's about 80% of adults. All of us within that area are usually between 7, 8, 8.5 hours. You have 10% on one end that requires maybe 6, 6.5 hours, and another 10% on the other end that are 9.5, 10 hours. The majority of us are right in the middle, so that is a fact.
All right, thank you. Very well. I'm going to do this one, myth or fact. Here it is. I'm doing it for me. I'm picking this one, so it's an easy one. Turning up the radio, opening the window, or turning on the air conditioner are effective ways to stay awake when driving. So I'm going to say that's somewhere in the middle, but I'm probably going to say more myth, and I'll tell you why. You should not be driving if you're sleepy. And so that puts up for a very dangerous scenario. So even if you find yourself turning up the radio or opening the window, turning on the air conditioner, those are not replacements for getting proper sleep. So I would say that let's address the sleep issue, the sleep deprivation issue, and hopefully you don't have to go to those resorts. And those resorts that are out there, and let's be honest, we've all done it. We've done some cross-country drives in my family. I try to do some of that stuff, and I'm still sleepy. So there, I'm going to say that's a myth. All right.
Pull over.
Pull over. Oh, I like that. Pull over.
Pull over.
And sleep.
We encourage people, if you're getting to the point where you need strong stimulation just to be able to stay awake, the process of staying awake is not enough to be able to stay alert. And so if you're at that point, you need to pull over and take a nap.
Excellent. Thank you, Dr. Flores. Here we go. Myth or fact. Here's a statement. Snoring is not harmful.
That is a myth.
Please explain.
So snoring can be an early sign or a sign of a condition called obstructive sleep apnea, which is fairly well recognized now, but it can lead to a variety of different problems: sleep fragmentation, fatigue, all sorts of cardiovascular problems. But even in people who don't have sleep apnea, the vibrations from the snoring can actually be harmful as far as causing swelling in the upper airway to the uvula, not to mention that the bed partner may not be happy about the snoring.
Would you say, let me just piggyback on that one, would you say that sleep apnea is an underdiagnosed condition in this country?
Absolutely.
Okay.
29% of the adult population has some degree of obstructive sleep apnea.
And do we know how many people are actually getting sleep studies to confirm that? Probably a fraction.
Yeah, just a fraction of that.
So fair enough. Thank you, Dr. Flores. Hey, more people probably should get this. I know we haven't had time to really get into the deep nature of sleep studies. Maybe we'll do that next time. So here we go. Let's keep this going on. Myth versus facts. We'll do a handful more of these. I guess I'm up next one. So here we go. Here's a statement. Naps do not make up for chronic sleep loss or poor quality nighttime sleep. I'm going to say that is a fact. Naps do not make up for it. And I tell you what the research shows that your nap should be no longer than 30 minutes long. Why do I say that? Because if you're longer than 30 minutes, and I know sometimes we want to have a really long naps, don't get me wrong, but longer than 30 minutes, you start getting into deeper stages of sleep, and that can actually lead to more problems down the road when you finally wake up, but you can also wake up a little bit off. So we always try to say keep naps to less than 30 minutes. That's pretty much a reasonable recommendation. I've actually tried to test run that myself, and I swear I'm telling my wife, Tiffany, she knows this, but she's listening to us right now. I say, oh my gosh, I feel so restorative. Actually, some research has shown that a nap that lasts as little as 9 minutes can be restorative.
Cat nap.
Cat naps, there you go. Here we go, Dr. Flores, myth or fact? Many teens come to school too sleepy to learn through no fault of their own.
Fact.
Please explain.
So the circadian rhythm in teenagers and young adults is different than it is for older adults. So they have something called delayed sleep phase syndrome, which basically means that their own circadian rhythm wants them to stay awake later into the evening and sleep later into the night. So a lot of times those kids come in to see me because they think they have insomnia and inability to sleep, and the reality is they can sleep. They would just like to sleep between 1 a.m. and 9 a.m.
Gotcha.
And society doesn't allow for that. So there are some internal cues that trigger that. Now, that's also perpetuated by their habits of Xbox and social media and all the other stuff. But it is a fact.
Thank you. Here we go. I got this one. This is me. All right. Let me pick an easy one here for me. Just joking. Here we go. I keep saying that, but you guys get what I'm just saying. Here we go. Health problems such as obesity, diabetes, hypertension, and depression are unrelated to the amount of and quality of a person's sleep. I actually would say that's a myth. They are very much related to it. As we talked about, every body system is affected by lack of sleep. So we want to make sure that we're getting proper sleep to minimize your risk of getting things like obesity, diabetes, hypertension, and depression. Here we go, Dr. Flores. Myth or fact? I like this one. The older you get, the fewer hours of sleep you need.
Myth.
Please explain.
Myth. So older adults also have circadian rhythm changes, and so these are the advanced sleep phase syndrome. These are the ones that want to go to bed at 7:30 or 8 but get up at 4 in the morning. This is the whole reason behind the early bird specials and everything. But joking aside,
awesome.
they oftentimes may not be able to sleep a full 7, 8, or 9 hours in one haul, but when you look at the amount of sleep that they get in summation over the course of 24 hours, oftentimes it does add up to about the same amount of sleep. So they may only get 6.5 hours in one block and then have to get up, but then they are able to get a portion of sleep later in the day.
Excellent. I'll do this last one. I'm giving myself a lob ball. Here it is. When insomnia symptoms occur more than a few times per week and impact a person's daytime functions, that individual should discuss these symptoms with their doctor. That is an absolute fact. There it is, my shameless plug. Come in and see me or come in and see Dr. Flores for more diagnostics. So, Dr. Flores, we got about 5 minutes left.